Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to my live review video of Monday Night Raw for April 29th, 2019. Jack with a $3 super chat already. Thank you for that, Jack. He just sent a goat emoji. I do appreciate that. So Money in the Bank is now starting to take shape. We had the participants for the men's and women's matches announced. Also, a new match was announced for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. So let's go ahead and get started with the Monday Night Raw review. Oh, real quick, comment here from Boston Punk. Endgame spoiler. Thanos takes off a mask and it was Vince McMahon. It was me, Austin. It was me all along. So there you go. The movie has been spoiled for you guys. Anyways, Monday Night Raw kicked off with Alexa Bliss announcing the participants for the men's Money in the Bank match. Those participants are as follows: Braun Strowman, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, and everybody's favorite wrestler, especially Greg Cherry. Well, in his case, it actually is his favorite wrestler, Baron Corbin. Those are the four participants for the Money in the Bank men's match coming up. So the graphic that was going around over the weekend, that was false. The women's was also false. So there you go. Just because you see a picture of somebody's TV screen with a graphic doesn't mean that graphic is legitimate. What do you guys think about the four Raw participants so far? Power Packers 90 says Aaron's kitchen is more over than most of the Raw's roster. Well, I think that's a very accurate statement, although this is not my actual kitchen, but thank you for that anyways. So we had everybody come out for this opening segment. Baron Corbin was talking about being a two-time Money in the Bank winner. Ricochet called Corbin a two-time loser. And then Corbin responded by saying that, is it somebody's bedtime here? Basically saying Ricochet's a little kid. Drew McIntyre, instead of defending the other heel, basically said that he is sick and tired of Baron Corbin making excuses. Bottom line here is the match got turned into a tag team match. You have four guys coming out there in their gear, two heels, two faces. You know how this is going down on Monday Night Raw. It becomes a tag team match. Strowman got hit with a Claymore, and it was basically the two heels against Ricochet on his own. However, Braun Strowman was able to get back into the match. Strowman got the hot tag, and then Drew McIntyre really did have enough of Baron Corbin's crap and punched out Corbin, I guess, just to further emphasize that it is every man for himself at Money in the Bank, I suppose. We had Strowman hit the power slam to Corbin, and then Ricochet hit the shooting star press to pick up the pinfall victory. So there you go. Babyfaces win. No dissension between Braun Strowman and Ricochet yet. We still have 2 more episodes of Raw until Money in the Bank. Anything is possible. So next up, we had the Usos come out. They were actually singing / rapping their entrance music. Kind of reminds me of R-Truth. What do you guys think about this? Do you think that this should be a permanent part of their act where they do a live rap to their entrance? Or do you think that they should not do that on a weekly basis? Let me know in the chat room. Michael Wayne says no thanks. John says lame. Dead Troll says Usos truth. Harley says nope. So there you go. Kurapika07 says it was cringy. So not a lot of positive feedback for that. Anyways, we had the Usos versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, who are apparently on Monday Night Raw. I must have missed where they were announced for Raw, or I just didn't care. But yeah, they are on Monday Night Raw. Is this the first time they were announced as being part of Raw? Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm confused at this point like you guys are. It seems like WWE did a very piss poor job of telling people who was going to what brand. Michael Wayne says no. And Calvin Bowman says, no, I don't think so. Usos should go back to their normal music. Who agrees? I like their current song. I don't have a problem with their current song, quite frankly. So Anderson and Gallows did a little promo that was shown in the small box on the screen, saying that Usos would be taken to the Good Brother Penitentiary. Anyways, that did not happen, of course. The Usos picked up the win. Super kicks, big splash. Another loss for Anderson and Gallows despite moving to Monday Night Raw. Boston Punk just left a $1 super chat. Thank you for that, Boston Punk. He actually left two $1 super chats, so thank you for that. Boston Punk says, YouTube gave me 2 free super chat credits for some reason. Here you go. Spend it wisely. Again, thank you for that, Boston Punk. I do appreciate it. All right, next up we had the Revival come out to confront the Usos. The Usos then proceeded to show backstage footage, and this is where Raw got really strange for me. So backstage footage was shown of the Usos going into the locker room and video recording Dash Wilder shaving Scott Dawson's back hair. Apparently this was some sort of huge diss to these guys that one man shaves another man's back hair. I'm not sure what this was implying. Is this supposed to make us laugh at these guys that perhaps they're gay or something? I mean, it's 2019. I'm not understanding what WWE was trying to accomplish with this in terms of us laughing at the guys. Like, why would we care that one man shaves another man's back? I certainly don't. If they want to do that, they're totally fine with that. I don't think that's embarrassing. So I'm not understanding how this was supposed to be an insult. But that's just my opinion on it. Usos were like, got him. And, of course, Revival, they were ticked off. They said it was an invasion of privacy. They said that they are men. And Corey Graves is like, I don't see anything wrong with this. And Corey Graves is the heel, and I agree with him. So, yeah, I wasn't sure what this was meant to accomplish. I really don't. But Revival did say that they would be coming for the Usos later on in the evening. So next up, we had Miz come out for the Miz TV segment with Bobby Lashley. Miz got the cheap pop by bringing up the Kentucky Wildcats, whatever team they are in Kentucky. Bobby Lashley came out. No Lio Rush. There's been talk that Lio Rush is on his way out of WWE. He has stirred up too much controversy backstage. And yeah, he was not on Raw. So to me, that is a very telling sign. I'm not even sure if the announcers mentioned anything about him not being there. But yeah, no Lio Rush on this show. Bobby Lashley said things are going to be played by his rules on Miz TV, and he will only answer questions that he feels like answering. He was talking in the third person. Miz called him out on it. And then Miz said that he thinks Bobby Lashley is a great athlete. However, he hasn't quite put it all together yet. He hasn't reached his full potential. Bobby Lashley said he's a 2-time Intercontinental Champion after just a year. The crowd was chanting, "What in him?" And then Miz was questioned as to what he has done in WWE, to which Miz responded with, he has won all these titles, all the Intercontinental titles, tag team titles, WWE title. He's done all these different things, and he did it without a shred of Lashley's ability. Lashley responded by making fun of how Miz lost at WrestleMania to Shane, and no wonder Miz's father thinks he's worthless. And of course we know, hot-headed Miz, you bring up his dad, he snaps. I'm fine with this, taking a shot at his dad. What happened later, I'm scratching my head about. So anyways, this attack, of course, led to a match. What else is new? Caitlin from the other side of the room here just sent me a $2 super chat saying hi. She declined to be on video tonight, and now I'm going to be in trouble for saying that, but Once the makeup goes off, then all bets are off, and you know how women are. I said she looks great with makeup. Come on anyways, but she's like, nah. She's cozy, laying in bed right now. We did a lot of stuff today, so you know, it's been a long day, but we were able to get back, watch Raw, and here we are doing the NoDQ live review of Raw. Steve just sent in a $1 super chat. Thank you for that, Steve. I do appreciate it. Mike B with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Mike B. He says, the Keurig machine in the background is more relevant than a bunch of the people on the Raw roster. Ouch. I think that right now is the savage comment of the night, guys. Thank you for that, Mike B. And we'll see if somebody can top that. Only time will tell. The This Guy Experience with a $2 super chat says, sorry, off topic, your opinion on Sasha's heat with Bliss. Well, I am not going to go off topic. I will talk about that when we get to that segment. So hold on here for a few minutes. Caitlin's like more like climbed sand dunes, Power Packers. Yeah, we climbed up, we did this huge hike up these sand dunes on the Oregon coast. So that was quite the workout for sure. And if you guys go on Caitlin's Instagram account, @SpicyPalms, you can find a photo of that from today. All right, so let's see what else we have to cover here. We had the match between Miz and Bobby Lashley. Pretty much right away, Shane McMahon came out for the distraction, and Miz just kept getting distracted over and over again. Shane would stand there, Miz would look over, Shane would run to the ring, Miz would get distracted again, Shane would get on the apron, Miz would get distracted again, and then finally Shane shows the footage, or just the still frame, I should say, of George, aka Miz's dad, and that once again just threw Miz off. He turned around into a spear. Bobby Lashley picks up the win. Again, stupid babyface. Why do these guys always fall for it every single time? It's just getting completely ridiculous. Like, how am I supposed to cheer for a guy that always falls for the oldest trick in the book? And also a guy who always lets the emotions get the best of him. He always falls into the mind games. It's hard for me to sympathize with a guy like that. Miz comes off like a over-emotional, stupid guy. And I don't want to cheer for a guy like that. So yeah, I think it hurts Miz's character when stuff like this happens. And it needs to stop happening so much. Every now and then, if you want to do a distraction, that's fine. But people ask me, like, what would I change about Raw and the booking and the creative process of it? I would drastically cut down on distraction finishes, because it just makes the babyface look like an idiot. If you're going to do it, let the heel be distracted instead, because, you know, you're not cheering for them. So they can do stupid stuff. They can let emotions get the best of them. But I don't think the babyfaces should be reacting this way, especially on a regular basis, like it seems they have been as of late. Shane McMahon, after the match, started brawling with Miz, and Shane got the best of him. He laid out the Miz with some very weak punches, by the way, but we all know Shane isn't exactly the best puncher. Shane then put this leg lock on the Miz and then got on the mic and said that this is a reminder that he is the best in the world, and then he dropped the mic, and the crowd started chanting CM Punk, of course. Next up, we had the War Machine, the War Raiders, no. Viking Experience, no. Viking Raiders, I think it is. Whatever they are this week. By the way, the crowd would actually chant war, war, war during their entrance with the theme song. And now, what do you chant? You chant Vikings, Vikings, Vikings. It just doesn't go with the beat of the song. So why take away something that was getting these guys over? I don't get it. Like, the war thing, the chant when they came out was cool. That actually made you want to cheer for these guys, and you take that away from them. So yeah, I'm not really a fan of that. Anyways, we had the Viking Raiders attacked by the... I still don't know if they're heels or faces. I have no idea. By the Lucha House Party. The three guys jumped them. They had a match. Viking Raiders pretty much dominated it despite the jump from behind. Cool offense from these guys. You know, I love their offense. I think that they do have potential, but I'm just not a fan of the name change. But I don't think there are too many people that are fans of the name change. Viking Raiders won with the Viking Experience, so that's still the name of their finisher, whatever. After the match, Lince Dorado, who was not in the actual tag match, tried to interfere, but then he got laid out for his troubles as well. Now, I'll get to that super chat comment here about Sasha Banks. So we had the participants for the women's Money in the Bank match announced. The participants were revealed by Alexa Bliss, and they are as follows. Natalya, Dana Brooke, of all people. And then we had Naomi come out as the third person. All three of them cut their promos. Dana Brooke said she's finally getting a chance here, and Natalya has been given every opportunity. And then Alexa was getting frustrated with everybody, getting too heated with each other, and said she had an announcement to make about the fourth participant, and then revealed that the fourth participant was, in fact, her. Alexa Bliss, the fourth member of the Money in the Bank match for Monday Night Raw. Ham Connell with a $2 super chat says, I DVR'd Raw and got through it in 20 minutes. And he did the ZZZ emojis like he was falling asleep. Well, I don't blame you for that, Hamp. So, what do you guys think about the four participants for Raw? Now, again, the graphic that was going around on social media over the weekend was fake. Somebody just made it on Photoshop, put it on their television to make it look like it's an advertisement, and there you go. They fooled a lot of people. Sasha Banks was being advertised on that fake graphic for Money in the Bank, and no Sasha Banks for Money in the Bank, so there you go. Could be a very telling sign about her future, or lack thereof, with the company. Then we had Naomi call out Alexa for a match. At first, Alexa hesitated. She didn't want to do it. She wasn't dressed to wrestle, but then she got taunted by Naomi and finally accepted the match. Next up, we had, interestingly enough, we had a Firefly Funhouse segment with Bray Wyatt painting. He was expressing his suppressed feelings. Then we had the rabbit, which I believe is called the Rambling Rabbit, appear, and then he inquired about Bray's painting of a burning house. And then Abby the Witch started questioning if Bray has really changed or if he is the same Bray Wyatt. $2 super chat from Power Packers 90. He says, card subject to change. Or people just make fake graphics. You can look at it either way. Whatever makes you sleep at night. And thank you for the super chat, Power Packers. Then we had Bray introduce the word of the day, which was sociopath. And then called Abby the Witch a sociopath. So there you go. So Bray's trying to act like everything's cool. The dolls, they know better. They know something's up. This is still the same old Bray Wyatt. The same crazy man. I did enjoy the segment. Again, I think it's intriguing so far, and I want to see where this goes. I'm thinking WWE probably just filmed like 4 or 5 of these in one fell swoop, and they're just going to air them over the next month or so. But I like it. I like these vignettes to reintroduce Bray's character so far. So yeah, so far so good. This was one of the highlights of the show for me up to this point. Moving on here, we had Naomi versus Alexa Bliss. And so it's funny because over the past few years, like, we get matches made during the commercial break. This time the match was made during the Firefly Funhouse segment. So I guess a little change there, whatever. Alexa was clearly distracted during this match. And speaking of distractions, well, I think he sent this meaning for it to be discussed a moment ago. Power Packers 90 with a $5 super chat says, this Bray Wyatt thing is the best thing in WWE. I hope they don't ruin it. Well, I agree with you, Power Packers 90. I would definitely like to see this character develop more, and let's see how it plays out. Hopefully Bray has that creative control with the character and can make it his own. We'll see where it goes, you know. Definitely too early to say if it's going to be a success or failure. The jury is out, as they say. And just so people know, this is not my place. So compliments, criticism, this is not my place. I'm just here temporarily. Tomorrow night, I'll be back at the normal location for those of you that are very curious for whatever reason. Anyways, Alexa was distracted because her shoelaces got untied. You know, she was in her street clothes, basically. And I guess this was her excuse to lose the match. Her shoes ended up going off at one point, and then Naomi picked up the victory with the split-legged moonsault. Next up, we had Rey Mysterio interviewed with his son Dominic again, and he said that at WrestleMania he let everyone down, including his son, and he has the plans to make up for it by beating Samoa Joe on this episode of Raw. Then we had Becky Lynch come out for a promo. It feels like, is it just me or is she talking too much? I feel like every single week since WrestleMania, every single show she's been cutting promos on both Raw and SmackDown. I think it's just becoming a little bit overkill with the promos. You know, I guess she needed to promote the matches, but I mean, do you really need to have her talk every single show, both Raw and SmackDown? She said she knows how to fight, and she's going to fight to protect her belts. She doesn't care about the odds. Nobody thought she would main event WrestleMania, but she did. She said that she made history by not dodging anybody. And then there was a recap shown of what Lacey Evans did with the 2 women's rights to Becky Lynch on Raw. And then Lacey came out after Becky Lynch called her out. Lacey said she's not going to lose her manners. But then she got in the ring, attacked Becky, and all hell broke loose. We had this big brawl. The pull-apart brawl. You know, WWE always has to do these pull-apart brawls because it is the easiest way to get a pop. Pretty much every time you can get the crowd to chant, let them fight. And of course, they do it. You know, you ring the bell and they bark. And that's what they did here. They chanted, let them fight. You know, referees, officials try to break them up. They temporarily get broken up and then they break out of the pack and start fighting again. You know, easy pop 101. Next up, we had Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder defend, or not defend, I don't even think it was a title match. Ryder and Hawkins versus The Revival. Crowd was chanting, shave your back, which might be, for 2019, the stupidest chant of the year so far, because his back was shaved. So why are you chanting, shave your back? I mean, it's not like he's Albert coming out there with a hairy back. So yeah. Corey responded by telling the fans to brush their teeth. Again, Corey's supposed to be a heel, and I agree with the guy, for crying out loud. Anyways, another loss for The Revival. Zack Ryder picked up the pinfall victory over Wilder. So there you go. Revival, I don't know what's going on with them, but I guess they're getting TV time. There's a report going out there that WWE is offering them $500,000 each for I think it was a 5-year deal or something. Might have been shorter than that, but I'm just thinking to myself, okay, I might get in trouble for this, but I don't think they're worth that kind of money, quite frankly. Like, if The Revival disappeared from WWE permanently tomorrow, would you really miss these guys? I mean, they're great wrestlers, but WWE has a lot of great wrestlers that can easily fill that void. So, are they really worth... I mean, that's basically $1 million a year for one tag team. Are they really worth that kind of money? Quite frankly, I don't think so. As good as they are, technically, I don't think they're worth that kind of money. So I think it's really just WWE trying to throw their weight around financially and keep these guys locked into contracts, as many people as possible. I mean, WWE has that Saudi Arabia money, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if Revival take the money or if they go somewhere else to make a bigger name for themselves. I don't know. But yeah, I'm surprised WWE would even make such a big deal out of keeping them. I really don't get it personally. And I know some people might hate me for that comment, or just disagree with me. Some people out there might hate me because some people take this stuff really seriously, and they might be very offended by that comment. But yeah, I don't think they're worth that kind of money, quite honestly. Next up, we had The Miz in a backstage promo reacting to the attack by Shane, and Miz officially challenged Shane McMahon to a steel cage match at the next pay-per-view Money in the Bank. So there you go. I'm guessing Shane's going to do some crazy jump off the cage. And yeah, I'm fine with it. I don't really have a big issue with it. Shane's going to do some crazy stuff. Jump off of a high place. That's what Shane McMahon does. So there you go. Then we had, actually, I think this might have been my favorite part of the show besides the Bray Wyatt promo. We had Sami Zayn come out and cut another promo. And again, to be fair, I said it about Becky Lynch. I feel at some point you got to take a break from the Zayn promos. You got to get him in the ring and change it up a little bit. Although he isn't doing it on both shows. But I feel like, yeah, this is like the third week in a row now. You got to ease up on it a little bit. But he did a great job here. I mean, this was another great promo from him. He said during his time off, he did some soul searching. He learned about psychological entitlement and how people will throw a fit when they don't get exactly what they want. Again, I wonder if this was like some sort of inside attack on Sasha Banks, with that whole story that's out there. But then he did reference a kid coming up to him wanting an autograph and having these expectations, and even at 5 years old, he's finding out that that he if he cries about something, he gets what he wants, that sort of thing. Zayn said that he doesn't owe the fans anything. He's already done more than enough. He's been in the business for 17 years. He's had 3 surgeries, and then he responded to people telling him, well, if you don't like WWE, just quit. He said quitting would be amazing. However, for him, it's even more amazing to hold people accountable for their actions, call out the critics. He proclaimed himself the critic of the critics. Great promo, and I think that should definitely be a t-shirt now, critic of the critics. We have some spammers in the chat room, some live streaming link. Let's get that deleted. Deleted. Thank you for that, Kayfabe Candy Ass. I appreciate it. Samoa Joe came out, cut a promo, said that Rey Mysterio's son is ashamed of him, and then Joe blamed Rey for Joe losing his Universal title opportunity at Money in the Bank. Anyways, we had a rematch from WrestleMania, Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe, and this is the perfect example of 50-50 booking at its finest. And Samoa Joe, after taking a loss last week, takes another loss this week, so he's 0 for 2 on Monday Night Raw, getting pinned by Rey Mysterio, who, did this roll-up, basically, and we're supposed to suspend disbelief and believe that Rey Mysterio, this 150-pound guy, can hold down Samoa Joe for a 3 count. I don't buy it. You know what? Joe should easily be able to power out of that. So yeah, I did not buy this finish. Agent who came up with it, shame on you, because it just doesn't make logical sense. Samoa Joe is like at least twice Rey's size. He would easily be able to power out of that roll up when he still has a lot of energy and force. It's not like he got hit with the 619 or something. Maybe he did. I don't even remember. But the point is, Joe immediately got up and he was just angry that he got pinned like that, but he should have easily been able to power out of that. It was a fluke pin, but it's not believable because Joe still had this energy and he's twice Rey's size. So yeah, I thought this finish sucked. There you go. Mike B with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Mike B. He says, do you think WWE will have Dominic betray Rey Mysterio at Money in the Bank? I feel like something's going to happen here because Dominic's been too buddy-buddy. They're doing their handshake, their cool little handshake and high fives. And he's just smiling there, and everything's too happy-go-lucky between father and son. So yeah, I would not be surprised to see it happen. It would be an interesting storyline twist. And maybe we're going to see Dominic start getting involved as a regular character in WWE. So we'll see. I mean, why else is he there? Like, I get it if he's there for one match or something, but, I feel like something's going to happen here. Curtis Butler says, Joe is not a monster like he should be. Pretty much. All right, so now we had the main event segment, the contract signing, the good old contract signing that everybody loves oh so much. We had AJ Styles basically say he wants the Universal title. He did refer to Seth Rollins as a winner. He's known him for many years, and people have said that Seth Rollins is the new AJ Styles. However, Rollins will never be the phenomenal AJ Styles. Rollins responded, his rebuttal was that he never wanted to be the new AJ Styles. He wanted to be the first Seth freaking Rollins. And then said that AJ Styles will need to be more than phenomenal to win the Universal title. AJ mentioned that Rollins doesn't have his brothers anymore, and then he will be the bulldog that sinks his teeth into Rollins until he leaves Money in the Bank as the new champion. Wow, we have another spammer in the chat room. All the spam bot accounts are showing up tonight, so there you go. I must be somewhat popular to have these spam accounts coming in here. Rollins responded by saying he likes to burn things down while AJ just builds things up. And then he brought up Brock Lesnar, how as similar as AJ and Rollins are, the one difference is that AJ failed to beat Brock Lesnar while Rollins defeated Brock Lesnar at his best at WrestleMania. AJ then grabbed the title after signing the contract, and then he held it for a few minutes, and then he handed it back to Seth Rollins, and then offered a handshake, to which Rollins, instead of accepting the handshake, held up the title in AJ's face, and then AJ was insulted by this, so he attacked Seth Rollins. A brawl broke out, Rollins fought back, and then AJ came off the top rope with the phenomenal forearm to Seth Rollins through the announce table. So, by God, the announce table. And as a family, damn it, the announce table rests in pieces, courtesy of AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. But I will say this is the first time in a while I think we've had a contract signing end with a table breaking. It's been a while. I mean, as tempting as WWE can be perhaps at times, they haven't done a table breaking in a contract signing segment for maybe a good year or two. So, yeah, I am sick of the contract signing segments, and at least this was the first table breaking in a while. But yeah, we had a contract signing segment, plus we had a pull apart brawl, plus we had cheap heat. So it's pretty much Monday Night Raw 101. Just your standard 3-hour show. Did feel like filler at times. Not the worst show, but I would not say a great or even a good show by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm just going to go with a C-. I think it was an okay show, but not particularly memorable. And I'm just not really feeling Money in the Bank much at this point. Steve gives it a C+, Harley gives it a C, Michael Wayne gives it a C-, Michael Heiss with a C+, Zach with a C, Ma Wrestling with a D-, Zach with a C, Mike B for boring, Marshall with a C-, John with a C-, Nolan Wright with a C-, Over the Top with an F. Not seeing a lot of B's or A's. All right, Caitlin, yell it out. What's your letter grade?
D.
D. Oh, wow. Caitlin gives it a D, so she was not a fan of this show at all. I just know when Joe and who did Joe face? Oh, Rey Mysterio. Duh. I forgot about it already. When that match was on, Caitlin was like, I do not care about this match whatsoever. Is that correct?
Yeah, and maybe the note-taking kind of took my...
Oh, yeah, Caitlin was helping me out. She was doing note-taking for me during the show, so I do appreciate that, Caitlin. Jorge with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Jorge. He says, I expected a bigger crowd reaction when AJ attacked Seth. It seemed dead. Well, again, that's what happens when it's a 3-hour show. And no, it was not a heel turn by AJ Styles, because Seth Rollins, he instead of shaking AJ's hand, he burned AJ Styles by not shaking his hand. He brushed him off and held the title up in his face, like a prick. So, yeah, I mean, AJ had an excuse to do it. So, yeah, no heel turn from either guy yet. Sukan Iger with a $2 super chat. I may have totally butchered that name. I do apologize. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I do not apologize. What's your opinion on Sweaty Gooch? So, yeah, I do not apologize for botching your name, if I did. I have no opinion on it. So, there you go. Kayfabe Candy S says Seth stiffed him. Oh, yeah, I agree on that. So, anyways, that was the Raw review. Thank you all for tuning in tonight to the NoDQ live review of Monday Night Raw. We'll see what happens on SmackDown. We have the remaining participants for Money in the Bank to be announced on SmackDown. The Gameson 100 says, with a $2 super chat, Cobra Kai series is better than Raw. Well, there you go. Do you guys agree with that or not? That's up to you to decide. So yeah, tomorrow night, SmackDown's participants for Money in the Bank will be revealed. I thought all of them were going to be announced tonight, but during the opening segment, I'm like, are they really going to have every single person come out? I'm glad they didn't, because that would have been quite the overkill. So anyways, tomorrow night, I'll be back for more. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate your viewership and support. Tune in tomorrow night. We'll have more discussion, more topics. No DQ review. I'll also be back with a No DQ&A live later this week, so look out for that. Probably Friday, maybe Saturday. We'll have to wait and see. But it will be coming back later this weekend. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the latest regarding Sasha Banks and everything else going on in the world